accounting policy information. In our opinion, the company consolidated and separate financial statement give a true and fair view of the consolidated and separate financial position of the group and the company as at 31st December 2023, and its consolidated and separate financial performance and consolidated and separate cash flows for the year then ended in accordance with IFRS accounting standards as issued by the International Accounting Standards Board, the provisions of the Companies and Allied Matters Act 2020, the Banks and Other Financial Institutions Act 2020, relevant Central Bank of Nigeria circulars, and in compliance with the Financial Reporting Council of Nigeria Amendment Act 2023. Basis of opinion, we conducted our audit in accordance with the International Standards on Auditing (ISAs). Our responsibilities under those standards are further described in the auditor's responsibilities for the audit of the consolidated and separate financial statement section of our report. We are independent of the group and the company in accordance with the International Ethics Standards Board for Accountants, International Code of Ethics for Professional Accountants, including International Independent Standard, ISBA Code, together with the ethical requirements that are relevant to our audit of the consolidated and separate financial statement in Nigeria, and we have fulfilled our other ethical responsibilities in accordance with this requirement and the ISBA Code. We believe the audit evidence we have obtained is sufficient and appropriate to provide the basis of our opinion. The concluding paragraph on page 40. In compliance with the Banks and Other Financial Institutions Act 2020 and circulars issued by the Central Bank of Nigeria, the information required by the Central Bank of Nigeria Circular BSD/1/2004 on insider-related credit is disclosed in Note 50 of the Consolidated and Separate Financial Statement. Note 53 of the Consolidated and Separate Financial Statement discloses penalty paid in the year. In accordance with the requirements of the Financial Reporting Council of Nigeria FRC Guidance on Assurance Engagement Report on Internal Control over Financial Reporting, we perform a limited assurance on engagement and reported on management assessment of the company's internal control over financial reporting as at 31st December 2023. The work performed was done in accordance with International Standard on Assurance Engagement other than audit or review of historical financial information, ISEA 3000 reverse, and FRC guidance on assurance engagement report on internal control over financial reporting, and we have issued an unmodified conclusion on our report dated 26th July 2024. This report is signed by myself, Kanayo Ichena, on behalf of Ernst & Young, Lagos, Nigeria, dated 26 July 2024. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I will now call upon Comrade S.B. Adenrele, the Chairman of the Audit Committee, to read the report of the committee to the members.
Thank you, the Chairman, Board of Directors, C&I Leasing Plc, distinguished fellow shareholders, good morning. Good afternoon. The Audit Committee report could be found on page 31 of the annual report. And I read. Audit Committee report to members of C&I Leasing Plc for the year ended 31st December 2023. In accordance with the statutory provisions of Section 404, subsection 1 of the Companies and Allied Matters Act 2020, we, the members of Audit Committee of C&I Leasing, report on the company consolidated and separate financial statement for the year ended 31st December 2023. We confirm that we have examined the scope and planning of audit requirements and reviewed the external auditor's management letter for the year ended 31st December 2023, together with the management response, which we consider satisfactory. We also ascertained that the accounting policies and reporting policies of the company for the year under review are in accordance with legal requirements and agreed ethical practices. The external auditors confirmed that all necessary cooperations were received from management and that the audit of the company's account was carried out in an independent environment, and they have also given an unmodified audit report for the year ended 31st December 2023, dated 5th day of July 2024, signed by my humble self, Comrade Adenrele Sulaiman Babatunde, with FRCN number stated. Permit me to call and recognize members of the audit committee here present. They say ladies first, so I will not deviate from that. Let me call on the lady and the mother among us, Mrs. Chrissy Vicente Walaka, a member of the audit committee. And the elder statesman in our midst, that is grandfather Pa Frederick Olufemi Oduyemi. Also, the board is adequately represented by an Alhaji from Saudi Arabia, who came in not quite long. That is Mr. Alhaji Omotunde Alao Olaifa. Also, we have Mr. Oluyemi Abaolu Johnson, who is on the other side, online viewing from the other side. Let me also recognize and made mention of, by order of the board, who acted diligently as the secretary to the meeting. Himself and his team, they did a tremendous job. That is Mbanugo Ndese. And my humble self, Comrade Sulaiman Babatunde Adenrele. Thank you.
Thank you, comrade. Before I lay the accounts, I shall be pleased to invite any questions from the members on the reports and financial statements for the year ended December 31st, 2023, together with the reports of the auditors thereon at this meeting. It would be of immense help if you refer to the page of the annual report and accounts to which the questions relate.
Chairman will direct me.
We may also find out if we have questions from the virtual platform. I have been informed that members had already cast their votes for the meeting. Therefore, the results will be announced by the registrar in due course. I now lay to the shareholders the audited financial statements for the year ended 31st December 2023. Wasn't it? Questions, please. From where? Okay, so sorry. Okay, send the microphone across to our person, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, sir.
Members of the Board of Directors, distinguished fellow shareholders, my name is High Chief Ajie Robert Igbe, a shareholder of the company. Well, Mr. Chairman, before I go to the main point, I want to make just an observation And that observation is contained on page 9 of the annual report. Ordinarily, whenever we have an annual report of a company, we need to have more information of the report of the company. For instance, on page 9, we should have the address of the registrars so that whoever wants to go to the register for anything regarding to his or her holding can go there and contact the register. But here, I didn't see the address of the registrars. Then the bankers' information. The list of the company, the list of the banks we have supposed to be mentioned here so that we know the banks we are dealing with. And finally, the price of this company, the stock in the market, as at the last day, that's at the 31st of December, should have mentioned in the report or anywhere here for us to know. This is just one or two or three observations I just want to make. Now, coming to the information, coming to my observation from the report, I really want to say. Let us say that on page 4, under special business, to ratify the issuance of bonus shares declared by the directors of the company on 11th November 2023. What I want to say here is that this issue shouldn't have come up again for us to ratify. Hence, it has been mentioned at the last meeting and has been approved by the shareholders at the last meeting. Ordinarily, this bonus took effect from January this year. The whole thing about this bonus should have started this year and not 2023. Now that it has been mentioned and it has gotten approval by the shareholders and possibly by the regulatory authorities, I don't see why we are coming to ratify it again at this meeting. I want you to take note that having gotten approval of shareholders or regulatory authorities come last meeting, shareholders are expecting that this 4 kobo dividend the company is now trying to pay should have been paid this year. But because we are still going to ratify this approval of all this is reason why nobody can get dividend on this. Even the bonus, everything has to be ratified again this year before it will now take effect come next year, 2025. I want you to understand something. If the board or the management is thinking about the penalty that will be involved, because I know that SEC has taken it as a must to penalize any company that fails to do anything about the unissued shares. All the company would have done is to make a sort of a statement regarding to that issue so that the SEC and all regulatory authorities will know that the thing has been taken effect so that they will not penalize the company again. I know very well that it has been mandated that any company that fails to do away with the unissued shares at the end of 2022-23 will be penalized. I know that some companies has already been penalized. Some paid up to 10 million naira, some 2 million, and so on and so forth. But in our own case, if something has been made as a sort of statement, letting the regulatory authorities to know that action has been taken on it, nobody will come to penalize you again. Rather than saying us that to ratify this, when the thing had already been approved by the shareholders at the last meeting. So please take note of this so that we do not allow this type of thing to continue again. Then on page 19 to 21, I want to thank the committees under corporate governance that you have tried by attending all the committee meetings, making sure that you are now complying with the requirements as mentioned under corporate governance. But the only thing there, what I can see that is an observation, is that all the meetings, the committee attendance meetings, none of the dates were mentioned. It's supposed to say yes. The committee attended 3 times or 4 times or 5 times, whatever times they attended. You mentioned the dates they attended each one, and not just they attended 4 times, 5 times, 3 times, 2 times, without mentioning the dates. These are part of the information that is required. Then under trade and other receivables on page 85, I want to say that we have to do something for this issue. The company needs money to run the business and not to allow people to keep our money. We need money to run the business, and therefore, any date or any time given to our customers or people who are owing us, they should try to pay it on time so that we shall have money to run the business. If you look at this thing I'm talking about, we have billions, not even millions, we have billions of naira that are outstanding, which are not collected. And it shouldn't be like that. Anybody who is running business should always make sure that the business, there must money to run the business. We have 23 billion naira here, and that is for the company. We have 11 billion naira here, and that is for the group. It shouldn't be like that. So please, when you are doing this type of business, make sure our money is being collected. Then at the same time, on page 123, we have expenses. The expenses we have on 127 is not a joke. And most of the amount involved there are too much, that we cannot continue to allow this type of amount, expenses, to be like that. It's really true that the economy is bad, but at the same time, we have to cut our expenses not to be too much for us to meet what we are talking about. If you look at that page very well, you see that the bank and the other, the bank charges is too much, over 311 million naira. You look at the one of legal and professional expenses, too much, 254 million naira. You look at the one of other expenses, 161. And all these things, you see that if you look at the previous year, they were by far more than what is contained there. So please, all these things have to be looked at. Then, Chairman, I want you to look at the page 24. You can see that on page 24, the tax we are paying is too much. When we are making a business that want to make profit, and we see that the money we pay as income tax is higher than the profit. If you look at that page 24, you see that the profit we made for the year was just only 273 million naira, while we have income tax of 1.274 billion naira. That is too much. We are not working for the tax people. This is a company that is made it for us to make profit, and the owners of the company to enjoy it, and not working for tax people. So please, this type of thing something has to be done about it. Then finally, I want to say that I have gone through this paper, this annual report. I didn't see anything in the name of unclaimed dividend. Next time, try to publish it in a small, either here or you print a small piece of paper and let us have it so that those of us who may be involved or who know some of the people can tell them, please go and collect your dividend. Thank you and God bless.
Thank you. MD? Okay, two more. Okay. All right, sir. Yeah, the guy behind this.
Thank you. My name is Balogun Shamsuddin Olalekun. Mr. Chairman, Board of Directors, and the other stakeholders. I think the chairman should let us ask the questions. Let the shareholder ask questions, then you take it together.
Carry on, sir.
That's my
Carry on, sir.
observation.
Carry on, sir. Carry on.
Okay. In as much as you want me to carry on, I want to commend you, the board, for giving us the 5 kobo dividend. Although it's small, compared to what is declared as the earnings and the profit, the 5 kobo is small. Then another thing is that this bonus, last year bonus which you give us, you told us that it has not been credited. What is delaying the crediting of last year bonus? Then this report is good. We want it to be better next time around. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. The lady.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, Board of Directors, regulatory authorities joining online, and those present here, distinguished shareholders, good afternoon. My name is Mrs. Bisi Bakari. First and foremost, Mr. Chairman, I want to commend the exceptional financial performance, which is an improvement over previous year reports. Looking at this year's report, this is a good report, and I want my colleagues to give us a very round of applause for that. Secondly, Mr. Chairman, I would like to ask that amidst the need for projected oil and gas revenue by federal government, what is our 2024 outlook, taking cognizance of the need to consolidate our hold on marine business and sustain this profitability? On this, Mr. Chairman, I want to commend our company for the improvement in our marine business, average revenue per vessel, cost efficiency, and marginal growth in the fleet management. Please keep it up. My second question, sir, is that how do you intend to sustain our group projection by maintaining our current business structure while optimizing operational costs? Page 4, like the earlier speaker said, as a shareholder, once I open annual report, the first page I go is where we have declaration of dividend. No matter how small, though the dividend is small, but for the current situation in this country, any company that is able to give us 1 kobo, we should appreciate them. And in addition to that, of course, we are going to ratify the bonus today. And like Igwe said, Chief Igwe said that this bonus, Adimbi, it was paid since last year, will have gotten a dividend on it. But despite that, we are still going to get it. I want to use this opportunity to appreciate the board and management for the bonus of 2 for 3 and dividend of 5 kobo. Please let us appreciate the board and management for that. But sir, going forward, Mr. Chairman, we don't want to come here next year. Despite the bonus, we don't want to come here with nothing less than 10 kobo dividends, sir. And I believe God will help us to do that. Mr. Chairman, I also commend the board and management for the fact that we are able to redeem our 10 billion commercial paper program. This marked the third tranche of the company's commercial paper program and its redemption. This is highly commendable, and I hope the strength will continue also. Page 43 to 45. I want to commend the growth in our gross earnings, which grew by 19% to 22.4 billion from 17.9 billion. Though there was marginal increase in our operating profit, and our profit before tax shows appreciable increase. But on this, my concern is on our bottom line. 273 against 577 million in the previous year, which arose, like Igwe said, as a result of increase in our income tax. Therefore, Mr. Chairman, from the above, how do we hope to improve our bottom line in this financial year? That is 2024 financial year. Lastly, that is on page 43, note 38. I want to ask that, how do you hope to address our concern? How do you hope to address our concerns that no value was realized from our investment income? 2023 is nil against previous year of 1.95 billion, almost 2 billion. But this current year of 2023, there is nothing on our investment income. Once again, thank you very much for the opportunity given to me, and I wish every one of us journey mercy back to our various destinations. Thank you, sir.
Okay, the last person, please. One person behind. The last person, okay. Yeah. All right. Thank you.
The chairman, very distinguished fellow shareholders, other directors, for the records, my name's Nona Awu. Chairman, can I make an appeal to you, realizing that your name is Samuel?
Carry on, sir.
I think that if you have us here, it will be in our long-term interest to allow as many people here to ask questions, with a proviso that any question that has been raised should not be repeated, because you are not sure what you are going to benefit from anybody's contribution. That's the appeal I want to make. But having made that appeal, I will assure you that I will not repeat any question that has been mentioned, and it's in that regard that I will want some clarity around the issue that the auditors has raised on page 34, trade and lease receivables. I want the board to throw more light on that, so that our understanding of this matter can be better appreciated. In same line, if you look at page 43, 74, 96, 98, 142, one thing that you'll find that is also reoccurring has to do with the issue of impairment. Again, with due respect, I will want some clarity around that as well. And as it's in that line that I will want to come to the issue of finance cost. Yes, somebody did mention it. But the aspect that I want to draw attention much more to is the fact that if you look at 100 as well as page 128 and 139, 128 and 139, you are going to find a situation where on the group, financial cost is accounting for almost 50% of the value that we have created, 50%. That then will bring me to the issue of what is our policy around funding of our business. Yes, it requires capital, but if we're going to spend 50% of what we earn to service our debt, that then becomes a challenge for me. So I'll be hoping that you'll be speaking around the issue of our funding. Because we also have subsidiaries that are outside the country, looking at what I find on page 136, I don't think it will be out of place if you also educate us, because the fact that you sit on the board means that you see much more than those of us who are just reading this account can see. What size of income in foreign currency is coming into the country, into the company through our operation in CFAX and Ghana? Because that itself will give us some level of comfort as to what the tomorrow will be. By the way, we have invested today for the benefit of tomorrow, and that's why what is going to come tomorrow becomes very important for some of us. Taking it further, for the future, I'll be interested in what we'll be doing to drive the business around tracking and fleet business, those two legs of it. And the reason I'm raising that is the fact that with the current cost of vehicles, certainly anybody who has made investment in those assets will be interested in how they are managed. And that they then mean that some more additional businesses will come our way. So what are we likely to do differently to push those two legs of our business? For the future, like I mentioned earlier, if you look at page 4 and page 147 of this annual account, you'll be requesting, and you have requested us to approve director's fee. Because if I were to fill the proxy form, I will have given you that approval before today. And I'm sure you will be asking those of us who are physically here to also give the same approval. But for the proxy page in particular, going forward, to indicate how much you are expecting us to approve for director's fee. And the reason I say that is on page 127 and 128, I find the amount that both the chairman, over 8 million, and other directors will be did collect the previous year. So let's know what the figure will be today and then going forward. I am not so certain that on page 129, given the fact that we have 14 directors in the group and 8 directors in the company, that you should not have disclosed one way or the other whether the directors who sit on the company have dual citizenship when it comes to sitting on the subsidiary. If that is also not so, why we shouldn't have disclosed the other directors in the other components of the business? I think that itself will give a clearer picture as to what we're doing and how we're going around doing them. Interestingly, page 15 to 17, and it's also indicated on page 25, I find that we have 4 independent directors out of the 8 directors. You'll probably be wondering, why am I talking about 8? But that is one of the largest you will find with the size of our board. But strangely, I didn't find any record that says that the minorities have a representation and by extension to also protect their own investment. the big boys with 5% and above, including your humble self as chairman, you make sure that you are well protected. So I want to remind you that what is good for the goose is good for the gooses. So let's begin to find a situation where minorities are represented on this board going forward. But much more importantly, again, given that we are regulated by central bank, let's have some level of consistency when we write the profile of directors as to the dates of appointment, because that itself helps in terms of succession planning, and then we can continue to call to your attention to things that we're not doing right. That then brings me to the issue of the corporate governance reports. I find that what we have here, with due respect to the persons that have been given that assignment, that is a sheer waste of space. You can't write a corporate governance report that the other shareholders don't know the areas of challenge for the organization, because that's the only time we can question and ask for update as to what you have done in areas that they have found some level of defect. So anybody who comes and give you a report that, oh, they've sent you the detailed report is sheer wasting our time. And if that is continued, next year some of us will ask how much we paid them, and then we may begin to negotiate that price on the floor of the AGM. So please, let them tell us areas of defect, 1, 2, 3, and then we can then ask the following year, oh, they said you only have 1 female director. When under gender balance, you probably should have 2. That is the way to make progress, not the full page that they just wasted in this annual account. And I'm hoping that this is the last time they will help us in wasting such page. Mr. Chairman, I want to remind us that we have in terms of shareholders, we have over 16,000 shareholders who are within the range of 1 to 10,000 out of the 17,000 plus shareholders. What it then means is that the 5 kobo that you have paid, anybody with 10,000 units, when you decide to pay, interestingly, I forgot to check the date for payment, but I want to assume that it will be paid tomorrow. Today, okay. The best that will go to that person's account in terms of alert is 450 naira. 450 naira. He probably will not be able to buy a research card online with such money. So that itself, relative to the share price of the company, is something that we must constantly look at. Like I said, for the big boys, if I have 5%, 250,000, 250 million shares, and you do 5 kobo, it will be meaningful. But for those of us who have brought with us might, don't treat us like widow. Treat us so when we get the money, we'll appreciate that the money has come. So going forward, let's try and look at yield much more. And that's why I'm sure one of the speakers talked about you indicating the share price in the 5-year financial summary. Because if you do that, I can then compare what the dividend that is coming vis-a-vis the price in the market. And then I will also be, probably this is where I should be in bigger number, or this is where I should be running away in terms of what the yields are. On a final note, Mr. Chairman, I heard you introduce Mr. Ndu as chief, and you also introduced Mrs. Okoli as chief. But I checked through the account. I didn't find any of them as chief. I want to think that they probably got the chieftaincy after you had printed this account. So since we didn't pre-inform them, when you come here next year, please bring all the items for celebration of chieftaincy, because we are going to make the demands in addition to the dividend that you are going to pay us. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. There's someone who has been raising his hand, Sir Mosu, online. may we please allow him to ask some questions or observation?
Thank you very much, Doctor. Calling from my country home. I'm in Oloko, God's country. Yeah, I want to thank you for the dividend and the bonus you have given to us. But the implication of this bonus shows that you are going to pay us dividend on both the bonus and existing and the incoming bonus. That is why you are seeking shareholders' approval today. But then again, I listened to those who spoke, and I want to say trade receivable, there's a way you can cut down the fear on trade receivable. It will only take just a page in the annual report. And that page is to tell us that as of December 31st, which is the cutoff date, this is the position of trade receivable. But at the time of holding this meeting, this is the position of trade receivable, which definitely will show a lot of improvement because there's a lot of money in the trade receivable. And that will help the shareholders to mellow down a little bit. It's just a page or half a page. And I think it is necessary that that is done. I have thanked you for the bonus and I have thanked you for the dividend. But the dividend, like Mr. Nonahu said, is too low. And we hope that coming here next year, we'll have an improved dividend, which will make us happier. Of course, this is the time that we should appreciate C&I leasing because the economy is tough and everybody will go on leasing. And then our company will make more money from it, both in marine and everywhere. I remember a few years ago, we were the ones that introduced Suzuki cars. Today, Suzuki is everywhere. And we should also introduce another cheap car, which will help the populace in buying cars, the poor people to be able to acquire car. Finally, Mr. Chairman, I want to ask that you should please extend my good wishes to my friend Ndu. I thought of seeing him well seated with his God bless white hair today. But however, wherever he is, please greet him for me. It's a very long time I've not attended this.
Mr. Ndu is here, sir.
Oh, I didn't see him. I didn't see his picture.
Please, camera, come and show Mr. Ndu here, so that our elder statesman will have the opportunity of meeting him on. Yeah, that's Mr. Ndu on white.
Yes, on white, both on the body.
He's
and
he's
hair.
now standing up. Yes.
Yes.
And but he just removed his chieftaincy cap.
Well, you have been told that next time at the next AGM we have to celebrate that. Well, this company is wonderful. Ndu once had a black hair. Today he's having a white hair all over. But I congratulate him too. Unfortunately, I'm in the village and I decided to hook on because I promised the company secretary that I would definitely hook on, even though the network is erratic. So, Ndu, congratulations and for seeing you. I want us to produce more dividend next time we are meeting, and we should be able to convert all these trade receivables into turnover and more turnover for the company. It's one of the old companies on the stock exchange. And I want to thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak on this occasion of the 35th AGM, 33rd AGM. I am happy and I believe that I will be physically present at the 34th AGM of this company by the grace of God. I wish you all God blessings and our company a greater height. In Jesus' name I pray. Thank you very much and God bless all of us.
Okay. There's Mr. Adebayo on the line. Adebayo Adeleke.
Yeah, Chairman, good afternoon. Please, can you confirm you can hear me?
Thank you. Yes, we can hear you. Carry on, sir.
All right. So, good afternoon, fellow shareholders, regulatory authorities present, and all the other shareholders joining us online. I want to congratulate the shareholders. First and foremost, a very great congratulations to Dr. Sam Onyishi, who incidentally is my very good friend. I want to thank you for coming into C&I Leasing at the time that you came in. One thing that is becoming very obvious for those shareholders who are following the affairs of C&I Leasing is that since you joined this company, or since you took very strategic position in this company, the company is already witnessing a turnaround. Ibekwe, can you mute your call, please? So the company is already witnessing a turnaround, and I believe definitely that given some of the technical analysis we are getting on C&I Leasing, the company is just about to turn the corner and will continue to produce better returns for shareholders. The fact that we are not defaulting on our CP program in terms of repayment is a clear indication that the company finances is on a healthy lane. And the fact that people are trusting us so much to still put more money at our disposal to facilitate the growth of the business are also issues that are heartwarming to every discerning shareholders. So we can see what you are doing, we can see what the board is doing, we can see what the management is doing. And I want to believe by the grace of God that all the years with which shareholders have been patient with this company will be handsomely rewarded. I know you are a man of faith, and I know also that whatever we lay our hands upon with God, we have no choice than to succeed. So I want to commend you, and I want to commend fellow directors, and also congratulate shareholders that by the grace of God, this company is going to go to greater heights. Thank you very much for the opportunity. God bless you.
Thank you, Chief Adeleke. Okay, the other one. Okay, thank you. Some chairs, please. Microphone.
Distinguished shareholders, some charts from the chat room. This is from Ibekwe. Greetings to the chairman and the board, including the company secretary. In a nutshell, all High Chief Robert Igwe is saying is that the bonus is considered approved and a declaration of dividend should be paid on the bonus, remembering that the bonus came before the dividend declaration. Thank you. Another one is from Nadi. Bumi Ojewale. More effort should be put into managing this company's profitability. After the share reduction, we are still not getting anything for our investment. The next from Uchen Nadi, C&I PLC can and should improve its tax planning and management. Uchen Nadi. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Wow. Before we forget, I think I just have to speak to some of your questions, and then allow the MD and his team to do more, because most are on management essentially. It's very important to note that someone talked about 50% of revenue is being used to service debts. It's, of course, worrisome to everybody. And the efforts that we are making is to make sure that we don't do that again. I may use this opportunity to inform you that the last CP that was raised, earlier than now, when we have a CP maturing, we used to take equal of what we are that is maturing we take it again to pay. But this time, we were able to source about 20% from within. So it's not like we just had to take a complete, or like a complete replacement. No, we had to make reasonable input from the operations. So I think that is an area that the management has done well. And during when we were kicked out of trading because we had a delayed accounts by the CBN. We lost a lot of money, but we were able to contain all those in-house, which means that the company is becoming more liquid and more liquid, to the glory of God. Somebody talked about minority representative on the board, and he was talking about 5% and it's alike. Well, it's I have to inform you that there are those on the board that do not have up to 5%, and they are still shareholders. So both the minority and everybody is represented adequately on the board. But we are still going to improve because nobody's going to be here forever. Concerning the next board, by God's grace, we are still going to continue to recognize more people, more openings, and even the women, because he was talking also about having more than one woman on the board. And we are going to do more. We are women friendly on this business. Someone talked, okay, most of us, including myself anyway, I complained about the dividend. So most of us are saying that the dividend is small. Yes. I don't want to take credit for doing that, but I must tell you that I insisted that dividend must be paid, no matter even if it is 1 kobo. Management, you must pay dividend because you are still making money, so you must pay. So someone is already talking about 10 kobo next time. The MD will speak to that because I'm sure that by next year they will be able to do better. Yes, I believe so. Because we are working on making sure that we have more of our vessels in operation, more of our vehicles on the road. And once the tires are rolling, money will be coming in. So, but the management needs your prayers and your support. But our target is to make sure that this company looks up. No more losses. It is going to be growth and growth and growth. Because it is true that the economy is very, very tough. But in tough economy, money is made. So we are not made for soft times. We are made for tough times. That's how we started business, and that's how we know how to run business. So when the economy is down, that's the best time to make money. So we're going to make the money, and then we'll make sure that our shareholders also rejoice. So our directors have been working hand in hand with the management. I think we have one of the best board, because in terms of relating with the management is free to do their work without disturbance. Nobody disturbs them. So this company is professionally run, and we plan to allow it to remain so that they'll have no reason to give, so that they can perform optimally. Mr. MD, I think you have to take the microphone. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody. Shareholders, directors, Mr. Chairman, Mr. Vice Chairman, regulators, and all supporters of C&I Leasing. So I think just to go straight to some of the questions that were asked by the shareholders, I think the chairman has answered a number of them. So maybe I'll start with the issue of the ratification of shares for the bonus. Yes, the management had proposed that to the board, and which was presented, rightly said, by one of the shareholders. However, the SEC insisted that the shares had to be a line item in the AGM, which it was not. So that's the reason why it did not qualify. So it's not because the company did not intend to pay dividend on it. We actually intended to, but it's something that we have corrected, and so that's why we're presenting it again today. So we just want to appeal for your understanding in terms of that. In terms of trade receivables, because I think there are a number of questions with that, and I think Chief Sonny also gave a suggestion on how we can maybe properly present that next time. However, the key thing about the receivables is that your company has quite a large amount of receivables on a monthly basis, and these receivables have timing. So it's really because this is as at a certain date in time for the account. So it always is at its highest at this point in time. But however, subsequently after, within a few weeks after this, the receivables tend to significantly go down because payments are made from the clients that we service. So that's really why you see that. But I think we'll take what Chief wants to said so that we can provide some clarity, with regards to the timing, as at then and as at the time we'll be having the meeting. The comments were also noted on the expenses. We concur with the notice, and a lot of challenges, I think, happened during the year and are still happening in 2024, which have greatly increased the cost of doing business in Nigeria, which I know many of us are aware of. So we did have that, and of course, as well as significant increase in the cost of funding, which even government securities today are in a yield of 25-26%. So it's really quite high to operate for a business in Nigeria today. But we will continue to do what we can to manage down those costs. In terms of the income tax reference, I think largely there is, I think, a special item in the account with regards to exchange gain. So that tax is actually deferred tax, and so that is the reason why it is quite significant. So we don't expect that in the 2024 account. In terms of the joint venture, so somebody asked a question of the size of the income on the joint venture. I think if you go to page 43 under item 15.1c, you'll see that the income from joint venture is 1.48 billion, which is up from 757 million from the year before. In terms of, maybe I'll go to some of these with regards to, okay, well, I think the chairman has spoken about the issue of independent directors, and then it is noted from Mr. Nonao on the consistency in profile of directors. In terms of outlook, because one of the shareholders asked with regards to outlook in terms of the marine business. The outlook for the marine business we think is positive because the federal government is very keen on ramping up production in the oil sector, which we service, and they are providing a lot of impetus in terms of policy that is we expect to help drive production. So we think that production will favor the services that your company provides. So we do expect some positive outlook for us in that regard. In terms of investment income, yes, it was nil because during the year, in the spirit of trying to operate a lot more efficiently, like which we've tried to speak to, the cost of assets, of acquiring assets, is really, really high. And so many clients cannot even afford some of the new assets. So during the year, we actually did not dispose of any assets, so that's why there's no investment income. So what we're doing is that we're actually trying to revamp those assets and put them into some profitable use. In terms of, I think, the final points, because I think some of the questions are kind of overlapping, in terms of dividend yield. So yes, we agree that the dividend yield is low, but we believe that Rome was not built in a day. So we think that the main thing is to take the first step, which we've taken. I think the main thing for us is to be consistent. So consistency, I think, is what will determine the trajectory of our company, and we are committed to that. So thank you.
Thank you, Mr. MD. Hello? More questions?
And my name is Swans Kenneth. On page 24, 2023, you established 3 subsidiaries. Please, can you throw more light on these 3 subsidiaries? And the name I'm seeing here, FZE, please, you can tell us what you mean by that. And also, secondly, I want to find out from us whether C&I Leasing is working towards conversion of CNG. Thank you.
All right, thank you, sir. Yes, C&I is working towards a conversion to CNG in Nigeria, and we're also working on electric, on using electric vehicles in our Ghana subsidiary. So these are the 2 trials that we're doing right now, and I think we have even started using rendering some service with is it the Guinness Ghana? Am I correct? Yeah. Guinness Ghana is already running on an electric vehicle, and then in Nigeria we're also looking at deploying CNG vehicles. And then on the issue of the subsidiaries, I think the Vice Chairman can answer. MD, am I correct? Okay. All right. I thought anybody can give the answer, because we all are together.
Yes.
Eh? Okay. Well, he can ask you to do that too, if he does anyway.
Okay, so with regards to the subsidiaries, no, they are not new subsidiaries. I think we're just stating it as at 31st December. So the FZD refers to a free zone area. That's what it refers to. And I think which other question? Sorry, I'm not sure what okay, what it means. Okay, yes, free zone. So it's a free zone area. Enterprise, yes. Okay. United Arab Emirates, yes. Is that okay, sir?
Okay, the final one, please. The final question, please. Because if we continue this way, we may find it difficult to do
Thank
more.
you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, sir.
My name is Alaji Sakakola Ole. If you look at page 25, where you have the major shareholders, I think there are about 4 of them, and you have the number of shares owned by each person. What about the other directors? Why don't you state their shareholdings? Let us know what is their shareholdings. Of course, too, I want to thank you for the number of people you have employed. You have increased the number of people that have been employed. So that's very good. I don't want to repeat what has been said. Overall, I would like to congratulate you for a very good job and wish that you put more effort in the future. Thank you so much. God bless.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. You can see only 3 shareholders there, and these are the only 3 shareholders that have up to 5%. That's why I was telling you that we have people that don't have up to 5% that are on the board, and many of us. So you can see that it's only 3 that have up to 5%. Thank you, sir. And then you go to directors' reports. You see the direct shareholding and indirect shareholding on page 26. Thank you, sir. The independent non-executive directors are also representing the interest of the minorities. Yeah. Yes, sir. Okay. I think we can continue. I now lay to the shareholders the audited financial statements for the year ended 31st December 2023, together with the reports of the directors, independent auditors, and audit committee thereon. Thank you. The directors are pleased to recommend item number 2, to declare dividend. The directors are pleased to recommend a dividend of 5 kobo per ordinary share. I hereby move that the dividend of 5 kobo per ordinary share be paid to shareholders whose names appear on the register of members or at the close of business on the 9th day of August 2024. May we have a seconder to this motion? Okay.
Mr. Chairman, I am aiming for that for I second the motion, sir.
On light brown, yeah, with an Alhaji cap.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
So we have chiefs and Alhajis.
My name is Olubosun. I rise to second that motion, sir.
Oh, thank you, sir. God bless you. Registrar, please present the results of the voting.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman and distinguished shareholders. A total of 199 votes were received, representing 1,499,224,263 units of shares. 100% voted in favor of the resolution. We did not receive any votes against the resolution, neither did we receive anyone abstaining. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Registrar. I now declare the resolution carried. Item number 3, re-election and election of directors. In accordance with the provisions of Section 285 of the Companies and Allied Matters Act 2020, 1/3 of the directors of the company are to retire by rotation, and being eligible may offer themselves for re-election. The directors retiring by rotation are Mr. Tom Oko Achoda and Mrs. Florence Coley. Their profile is on page 17 of the annual report. The board of directors, being satisfied with the performances of Mr. Tom Achoda and Ms. Florence Okoli, have presented themselves for re-election. Propose that they be re-elected as directors of the company. I now propose that Mr. Tom Oko Achoda, retiring by rotation and being eligible and offering himself for re-election, be and is hereby re-elected as a director of the company. Will a member please second? All right. Thank you. Madam Registrar, please present the results of the voting. You want to do what? Okay. You want to vote? Okay. Those in favor say aye. Aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it.
Okay. However, I'll read the votes that we received.
Madam Registrar, please present the results.
All right. So we received a total of 199 votes, representing 1,499,000 million rather, 222,263 units, and the voting was that 100% voted in favor of the resolution. Nobody voted against the resolution, and we didn't have anyone abstaining. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. I now declare the resolution carried. I also propose that Mrs. Florence Okoli, retiring by rotation and being eligible and offering herself for re-election, be and is hereby re-elected as the director of the company. Can a member second this motion, please? Okay.
Hello, Mr.
Those in
Chairman.
favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Registrar, please present the results of the voting.
A total of 199 votes were received, representing 1,499,224,263 units of the shareholdings. 100% voted in favor of the resolution. Nobody voted against the resolution, and nobody abstained. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Registrar. I now declare the resolution carried. Item number 4, remuneration of auditors. The next business of the day is to authorize the directors to fix the remuneration of the auditors in accordance with Section 408 of the Companies and Allied Matters Act 2020 for the 2024 financial year. I now propose that the directors be and are hereby authorized to fix the remuneration of the auditors for the year ending 31st December 2024. May a member second the motion, please?
Second motion.
All right, thank you. The next motion is going to be seconded by a woman. The next two motions, please. Okay. Registrar, please present the result of the voting.
For resolution 4, a total of 199 votes were received, representing 1,499,222,263 units of shareholdings. 100% voted in favor of the resolution. Nobody voted against the resolution, and we didn't receive any votes abstaining for the resolution. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Registrar. I now declare the resolution carried. Item number 5, election of members of the Audit Committee. The fifth item on the agenda is the election of members of the Audit Committee. Section 404 of the Companies and Allied Matters Act 2020 provides that a public company shall establish an audit committee to ascertain whether the accounting and reporting policies of the company are in accordance with legal requirements and agreed ethical practices. This committee shall examine the auditor's report and make recommendations thereon to the annual general meeting as it thinks fit. The members shall comprise of 3 member representatives of shareholders and 2 non-executive directors. Ladies and gentlemen, only 3 nominations were received within the statutory timeline. There have been no other valid nomination received. The following shareholders who are members of the Statutory Audit Committee are returned unopposed. Number 1, Mr. Suleiman Babatunde Adenrele. Nominator, Mr. Ogunnowo Sunday Olutayo. Number 2, Mr. Frederick Olufemi Oduyemi. Nominator, Chief Timothy Ayobami Adesiyam. Number 3, Mrs. Christy Vincent Owalaka. Nominator, Mrs. Tijani Oluwanishola Mukadam. Also, the board has resolved that the following directors should serve on the audit committee for the ensuing year accordingly. A, Mr. Omotunde Alao Olaifa. B, Mr. Oluyemi Peter Abaolu Johnson. Since the representatives of the shareholders have been returned unopposed and the board has nominated 2 directors, I now move that 1. Mr. Suleiman Babatunde Adenrele, Mr. Frederick Olufemi Oduyemi, Mrs. Christy Vincent Walaka, Mr. Omotunde Alaolaifa, Mr. Oluyemi Peter Baolu Johnson, be and hereby elected as members of the Statutory Audit Committee pursuant to Section 4046 of the Companies and Allied Matters Act 2020 to serve on the Audit Committee until the conduction of the next annual general meeting. Can someone second the motion? A lady, please. Yeah. Saka. Okay. Baka. Okay, Baka.
Thank you so much. Baka Juliet Eberechuku, I support the motion. Thank you.
Thank you. The registrar. You may present the results. Okay. No results. Okay. Okay. Because you want to post. Okay. After the registrar, okay. Thank you now. I now declare the resolution carried. Item number 6, to disclose the remuneration of managers of the company. The next item is to disclose the remuneration of managers of the company. Section 257 of the Companies and Allied Matters Act 2020 provides that the remuneration paid to the managers of the company must be disclosed to members at the general meeting. The remuneration of members of the managers is disclosed in note 46 on page 129 of the 2023 annual report. This is a disclosure requirement, and no resolution is required to be taken on this item. Special business. Resolution 1. To approve the remuneration of directors for the year ending 31st December 2024. The chairman, okay. The first special business is to approve the remuneration of the non-executive directors for the year ending 31st December 2024. I will now hand over to the GMD/CEO to lead us on this resolution, since I am also a non-executive director and as such completed. Mr. MD, you can have the microphone.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So I propose that 9 million naira for non-executive directors and 12 million naira for the chairman be approved as directors' remuneration for the year ended 31st December 2024. Can someone please second the motion? A female, yes.
Thank you, sir. My name is Mrs. Bisi Bakari. I second the motion.
Thank you, Mrs. Bakari.
Online participants, allow us to speak.
So I think the registrar, maybe we will give yes. Yes, sir. Okay, sir. Okay, sir. So anyone in favor of? Everybody. Okay. Those against? Okay. Thank you very much. Wait. Okay. Okay. I think maybe in the spirit of trying to hang on for the chairman a bit, I think maybe we wanted to also just give some overview of some of the happenings that in the company for 2023 to 2024. Okay, the chairman is already here, so maybe we can do that and then we can conclude that subsequently. I should go ahead. Okay, well, I think one of the positive things that we see for 2024, for the company is in terms of how we have worked a bit more and more on the operational efficiency of the business. I spoke to one of the questions before of how we did not sell any asset during the year. And I think one positive thing that we got out of that was that we've been able to find alternative uses for some of the assets of the business. in order to be able to still retain some revenue. And during this year of 2024, under our fleet management business, we're also able to secure some substantial business from one of our large partners, Huawei, which I think is quite commendable during the period. So it is just one of the things that I think gives us some positive vibe for 2024, and why we feel that we would like the support of shareholders as we continue to execute the strategy of the management and the board. So as a being that is me, I think the chairman is back, so maybe I can conclude. So I think the registrar.
Okay, for the special resolution 1, a total of 199 votes were received, representing 1,499,224,263 units of shares. 100% voted in favor of the resolution. We did not receive any votes against the resolution, and no one abstained. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So I now declare the resolution carried, and I hand over back to the chairman.
Thank you. Okay.
Yes, sir.
You can make your observation.
Because one of the things that was said earlier is that since the bonus was just been approved today, that there will be no dividend on what is just been approved today. But if I heard the registrar right, the number of shares that voted 1.something billion, if you look at page 25 of this annual account, what we still have standing as paid up is 781.65 million. So there's some disconnect, and I just thought that so let's connect it. Thank you.
Thank you for your observation, sir. So just to connect the dots, so there was a transaction in the course of the year that was done in January. And I mean, this is not to include the bonus. So if you look at that transaction, a debt conversion transaction that happened, that moved the share. Thank you.
All right, thank you. When I went out to ease myself, the MD was talking about maybe giving you an insight on the future of the business. So I think did you finish? Or you still have more to say? Okay. Because I think it's important that you know how the management is thinking and what they are working on. You have been patient enough all these years without earning much. So I think there's hope. So I'll urge you to stay by your company, encourage the management, and then have patience enough to enjoy the future of the business, because I think we're in good hands. Resolution number 2, to ratify the issuance of bonus shares declared by the directors of the company on 11 November 2023. The final business on the agenda is to ratify the issuance of bonus shares declared by the directors of the company on 11 November 2023. Item 2, 1 to 5, with your kind permission, should be taken as read by the company secretary. Carry on, sir.
The observation I want to make is that I have gone through this annual report. I have seen that the bonus of 2 for 3 declared, after it had been removed, we still have some shares left in the unissued shares. I know that this thing was taken from the share premium. This bonus we are approving now was taken from the part of the share premium account. And after this has been done, we still have some shares left in unissued shares. that unissued shares, has it been written off to avoid the sake to come and penalize us? This is just what I want to make observation. Thank you.
We have taken resolution that those ones should be cancelled. Am I correct? Okay. Okay, item 3, please. I now propose that the issuance of bonus shares declared by the directors of the company on 11th November 2023 and items number 2, 1 to 5 of the special business is hereby ratified. Can a member please second this motion? A lady?
I second the motion.
Is it man?
I second the
Somebody
motion.
on blue with a Mobutu Sese cap. That must be a South African prince.
Yeah, Ibru de Moses, rise to second the motion. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Those in favor, say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. Madam Registrar, please present the results of the votes.
Good afternoon once again, distinguished shareholders and chairman. 199 votes were received, representing 1,499,222,263 units of shares. 100% voted in favor of the resolution. We didn't receive any vote against the resolution, and we did not receive any votes abstaining for the resolution. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Registrar. I am sure that nobody will vote against the bonus, so that was just a formality. I now declare the resolution carried. Closing of meeting. Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished shareholders, having dealt with all the matters for which notice was given, we have come to the end of this general meeting. On behalf of the board, I would like to thank you all for your time and contribution and your continuous support of the company. I now declare the meeting closed. Thank you. We are going to, Elijah Olaifa will say the closing prayer because a Christian said the opening prayer. So Elijah Olaifa will say the closing prayer and then we have the national anthem. Thank you.
Thank you. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. We thank God Almighty Allah for seeing us through the 33rd AGM of C&I Leasing Plc. We pray for journey mercies as we all depart to our various destinations. Amen.
May God bless all of you. Yes. That's good. Wow.
Sorry, while waiting for the national anthem, please, shareholders, kindly be on your seat as there's a little arrangement that will be served for shareholders. Thank you.
We hail thee, our own dear native land, though tribe and tongue may differ, in brotherhood we stand. Nigerians old and proud to serve a sovereign motherland. Our flag shall be a symbol that truth and justice reign. In peace all battle honored, and this we count as gain. To hand unto our children a banner without stain. O God of all creation, grant this our one request. Help us to be
Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Congratulations. Thank you, everyone.